My name is Rukaria. I'm a lawyer and notary public on Cambie Village. I opened my office here towards the end of 2007. Most of my work in Canada has been solicitor's work. My journey actually started in Kenya. I just want to put that out. In 1995, that was when I opened my first practice, and I was doing litigation in Kenya. But when I came to Canada, I found myself a mother of two little ones, and I had to sit down and think very carefully what I wanted to do here. So I wanted to do practice, to take up practice that would give me time with my children and time for myself as well, but as well give me the financial ability to support myself and my children. But as a woman, especially in Kenya, and later on as an immigrant woman, a Black woman here, I wasn't sure how that's gonna work out, but I wanted to do it anyway because I believed I had the capacity to make it happen. And that's how I started the practice of law here. And the same week I opened my practice, I had $500 in my pocket. When I came here, I realized I could go as far as I wanted. I could do anything I wanted to do in the context of my profession, be the best I could. I am very, very, very grateful and lucky that I was able to follow my dream here. Things that helped me out is I had the financial capacity to go back to school and educate myself and get my certification. I remember the one thing the late Justice Romley told me. He was one of the people I reached out to because I didn't know who to. He was a Black judge, very well accomplished. I read his story. Oh, amazing man. And I remember going for tea. He had this beautiful laugh and told me, I will tell you this, as a Black professional here, and especially a woman, you have to work twice or three times as hard, and God help you if you ever make a mistake. I think a lot of people think lawyers are soulless. But it's not true. There's a lot of compassion and empathy that goes into the practice of law. I actually didn't know I was going to be a lawyer, but something happened when I was about 9. I was born into a very patriarchal society. Kenya, in many tribes, is still very patriarchal. And it was an incident where I had a group of elders talking to my mother and my grandmother, and insisting on a point, insisting on a cultural thing that needed to be done, especially with relation to my mother. And the culture that way is the elders spoke, and elders are men, and you didn't say anything. So we were there, we were serving a traditional porridge and food, and I'm hearing all these conversations, and my grandmother, because of culture, just yes or no, you don't have a voice. And I remember saying, there were so many things I wanted to say to the elders that day, and I just remember saying quietly that one day I'll be able to be that voice. I want to represent people. I want to say things for people who can't speak for themselves. Now, I didn't know anything about law. There was no lawyer within many kilometers of my village. It was the first time in secondary school, that I met a lawyer, and he spoke about law, and everything made sense. So all that time, and throughout the years, even from 9 years until I had this conversation with this lawyer, my heart was always pulled towards fairness, towards justice. I didn't know it as justice then, but I never wanted to see someone not being given an opportunity to say something either in their own defense, or if people were not able to talk, then I'm not a born leader. Don't take this from me, I'm not, but I'm also not going to walk away from a situation without making sure that fairness has been observed. So when I came here and then there's a whole practice where you can actually make money being a human rights lawyer, I said, I want to do immigration, but I also want to do refugee work. So refugee work basically is the practice, the area of practice that that makes me want to come to the office every day. And I feel that when I meet that person running away from war, when I meet that woman who has been traumatized so much because she's gone through years of abuse, whether it's in the context of war, in the context of family, or in the circumstances of a country. My work with the migrant, my work with the refugees specifically, aligns completely with what I felt those many years as a 9-year-old, that I am giving a voice, I'm giving representation to people others who will not be able to navigate the system. Why did I stay around Cambie Village? I really like the people in this neighborhood, wonderful, wonderful people. When we came here, most of our buildings were as tall as this building, so you could pretty much see all the way downtown from where I stand. So in that way, it has really changed. The community has also evolved a little bit. I feel there's more ethnic mix in terms of who is around Cambie Village. I think it's a great place to start a business as a woman, and I hope more women will be able to see the potential of Cambie Village to start a business here. If I was to give advice to business women, to young women starting business, especially lawyers, young women lawyers, I would just tell them it will be difficult sometimes, it will be easy sometimes, it will be frustrating, but overall, if you know why you got into it, every day will count. Any person who walks into our offices, whether they're instructing us for 5 minutes or instructing us for the next 8 months, for us, that person is an individual. It's not a file. It's not a billable hour. For us, we are interested in knowing the person, understanding their problems, and coming up with a solution that is fair. I hope that at the end of the day, I have made a little difference, positive difference in somebody's life. Whether it's my client or somebody just walking in to do an authorization, I do hope I have affected them, not just as a lawyer, but as an individual positively.